I'm Cary Stamp. I'm a financial advisor in Tequesta, Florida. And I want to talk about one of the most common questions that I'm getting lately. And that question is on everybody's mind. And that's, what impact will the election in November have on the stock market and on the overall economy? And I'm going to give an answer that some people might think is a little bit glib, but in reality, I think this is true. I don't think it matters one whit who wins this election. The same issues and challenges that we have as a country are going to be in place whether we have a Republican in the White House or a Democrat in the White House. Let me explain. We have an issue right now. We have a significant amount of federal debt. That federal debt has come about as a result of the bailout plans that we did from the financial crisis, and especially early in this year, the bailouts that we've done for the coronavirus crisis. That debt is going to become a problem to us long term. Eventually, we're going to have to pay it back. And classic economic theory says that the way that you pay back your debts are by doing one of a number of things. One is keeping your interest rates low so that you don't have to pay very much interest on that debt. But when you keep your interest rates low, that typically has an economic impact, which means that it's harder to attract capital from foreign markets. And if it's harder to attract capital from foreign markets, money goes elsewhere. So the value of your currency can tend to decline. Well, if your currency tends to decline, that means you have to have more of your currency to buy the goods and the services that we want to buy in our economy. So the economics moral, or the economics lesson to come out of this, is that if we have a lot of debt and we can't figure out a way to pay it back, we're probably going to have a dollar that's worth a little bit less, and inflation starts to creep into the system. So we need to be prepared for that, whether there's a Democrat or a Republican in the White House. Is that the end of the world, though? The answer to that, again, is no. That's not the end of the world. That doesn't mean that the United States is going to go by the wayside. It simply means that we have another challenge to overcome. And in the history of this country, we've often had challenges and we've often been able to overcome them. There's an old expression that I learned as a rookie broker, that on Wall Street, the stock market climbs a wall of worry. There's always another issue, there's always another question that comes up. The election isn't going to make that much difference. If you look at the historic numbers, the stock markets have done as well under Democrats as they have under Republicans. Overall, the markets go up generally about 70% of the time and down about 30% of the time. And there's not really a correlation under which party they go up and under which party they go down. So keep that in mind. Long term, we still think that equities are going to outperform just about every other asset class. So the question you need to be asking yourself is not who's going to win the election and how's that going to impact my portfolio, but what does the risk level look in my portfolio now, especially that we've seen a rise in the equity in the stock markets. If you have too much in equities and not enough in fixed income, and this is different than what your traditional allocation should be, we will be telling you to reduce your equity exposure, and you should be keeping a close eye on how much you have and how much is at risk. If you need our help, you can reach us at 561-471-7700 or email me directly at Cary, C-A-R-Y, at carystamp.com.